I've chosen the passage from Matthew chapter 5 from the Sermon on the Mount to focus on for my reflection today. I struggle with the Sermon on the Mount, how to actually interpret it. Did Jesus say some of those words as an extreme statement, exaggeration? Some of the ideas in our passage about turning the other cheek, in some ways I get it, but I also know that when I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, it causes me to become rigid and anything but turning the other cheek. The verse is about being sued, to just give it all up. Might not relate completely, but this summer we found that the former owner of our home that we purchased a little under 2 years ago had taken a bunch of shortcuts in some of the DIY projects that he had done to make our 1950s style home look more updated. And when we went to go put in an additional electrical outlet, we found that he hadn't pulled any permits. He had done really shoddy work that two different electricians said that our house was not inhabitable in the current condition that it was in. So we had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to make it right. And part of me wanted to sue the former owner, but we learned that one, it would be not worth our while in terms of in small claims court, but then more just trying to understand what the Jesus calling kind of decision would be. It didn't feel right to sue, even though it felt like we totally were screwed. Well, we were totally screwed. The end of the passage where it talks about where Jesus says, it's easy to love the people who you like being around or who you love, who love you back. But what about the people who are hard to be around? That's a tough one for me. I can pastor people, but as far as wanting to be a friend with them or actually in a relationship beyond pastor-parishioner type, that's a whole nother thing for me. But the biggest challenge I found with this passage had to do with verse 48, where Jesus says, "Be perfect as my Father in heaven is imperfect." It is perfect. I find that this verse, it messes with people's heads about this idea of pursuing perfection, when I just find that that's not healthy. I've struggled with perfection or seeking perfection and find at this point in my life I need to work on being satisfied sometimes with things that are less than perfect. So I'm not really sure what Jesus means by that. I never have, and I still don't know what it means today, and what it means in terms of God's call in my life. That's what I have to offer for a reflection tonight.